Well, hello and welcome to an Interdental TV broadcast, and it's an absolute pleasure to have Marcus McLeod here today from Your Dentist Recommends. Marcus, how are you?
Very well, thank you. And how are you? Long time no see.
I know, indeed, I'm doing very well, thank you. So, life is okay. Life is okay.
Good.
We're here to talk about Your Dentist Recommends. Now, full disclosure, I am involved with Your Dentist Recommends. So I have actually been part of helping, I guess, advise and set things up. But it is a fascinating business structure, which is why I got excited about becoming involved with it in the first place. For the audience, could you give us a bit of an explanation as to what it actually is? What is Your Dentist Recommends?
Sure thing. On the face of it, it appears as any other e-commerce shop on the internet. It sells a full range of products, about 450 products we have on there, all to do with oral hygiene. So it's something the hygienist would probably advocate that the patient would go and have a look at. But what we did, we took further steps and we built a full e-commerce platform really designed around the dentist and how they would actually use it in the clinic. So behind the scenes, instead of just clicking and selecting a product and paying for it and having it delivered, the dentist can now suggest a product, send the cart to his patient or her patient, and the patient thereafter can buy themselves. So at the back end of that, there's a tracking which allows the dentist or the hygienist to have a look and see if the patient has actually followed through and purchased the product.
It's excellent. I mean, as a dentist myself, and I know our therapists and hygienists have been through the same history of, you're recommending a product to a patient. You may hold certain things in stock, but a lot of the time we're writing down on a scrap of paper and handing it to the patient, saying, go and buy this particular toothbrush or item that you need, and we're sending the sale essentially away from the clinic, and we're also not sure if the patient is going to end up with the right thing in their hand at the end of the day. So one of the things I love about Your Dentist Recommend is that it not only do you know the patient is actually going to get the product that you or your therapist is actually recommending, you can see if they've completed that sale, and then as a business owner, you're actually generating a small commission out of the sale without even having to hold any stock. So it's essentially like the clinic's own shop.
We wanted the clinics to feel that it was their own shop and that they were part of the entire process. So much so that we actually introduced a branding. So when the clinic sends out a basket to the patient, it's branded with their clinic name on it, their clinic logo. So on all intents and purposes, without trying to pull the wool over the patient's eyes, it's a branded tool that goes out to their patient, so that the patient's quite comfortable knowing that this is what the dentist has suggested for them.
Yeah, and from a business owner's point of view, it means that there's no kind of cash in stocks. I don't have to buy in boxes of toothbrushes, interdental aids. I don't have to have all that in the premises, which is amazing. And also in the current environment, it means that we're not having to handle more things and physically pass things over to a patient. We're not having to take cash or try and sort out difficult card payments for small sundry items, because the patient obviously pays online and it's delivered directly to them.
Well, this is something that a prominent dentist mentioned this word to me. I hadn't heard it for years. It's a faff. That word is beautiful. It's a faff dealing with sundries. So when you have the patient waiting at the reception desk, the receptionist has to leave to go and look for one colour of TP brush and finds that it's not in stock, and will this one do? She has to go, and all of a sudden you've lost 15, 20 minutes for the sake of selling one small packet of TP brushes. I'm not saying that happens all the time, but it's a nuisance, and for not huge reward. So we've taken the sting out of that by having very clear and simple that's the product, that's the picture on screen, click it, put it in the basket, and send the basket to the patient. You're taking the onus away from reception desk getting involved in that transaction at all. Perhaps they can't read a doctor's writing, wouldn't be the first time. So that they know quite clearly, the patient knows quite clearly what they want to buy, and off they go, and it's down to them. You're passing responsibility to the patient to buy.
And I think obviously in a fully functioning clinical situation, the advantages there are huge. But I think again, just now, especially when it's harder seeing patients face to face, we're not seeing folk for routine things in the way that we were. And it does mean if you get an inquiry coming in from a patient who has a particular issue, that can be easily responded to. You know, you're having this particular issue. Here's a product that I think is going to help you. So and again, as part of a virtual consultation, you know, using a virtual shop makes complete sense because you know, it's just part and parcel of that whole experience.
Absolutely, and it's really down to us to make sure that we've got the right products in place to satisfy that. So there was quite a scare across the market just as COVID-19 kicked in. Toofy pegs, the temporary filling. And they declared that they had run out of materials and couldn't produce anything until the autumn. So every dentist in the UK was panicking. You know, they can't meet up with their patients, and there's no alternative out there. So they were kind of sending their patients off to go and find in Superdrug or Boots or whatever. And they've now sold out of Dentec products that they sell. And we have the world #1 product in stock at all times, Dentemp. Which does a very capable job, every bit as good as Dentec or Toofy pegs. So as long as we are able to supply the dentist on a regular basis, their patients on a regular basis, then we're providing the service levels we want.
Indeed, and that will take the pressure off as well. You know, we're entering these phases of return to dentistry where there's certain things we can and we cannot do. So just because we're back providing urgent care, there's still a huge need for things like temporary filling materials, because if a patient has a small restoration that's dislodged and a temporary filling is going to last for a month or two, then actually you've just saved yourself a rather lengthy slot of clinical time that could be used for a more extreme emergency or a more urgent case. So I think there's going to be a real need for the temporary type materials for quite a while, I would imagine.
Well, it covers so many different ailments, as you know better than I do. But the Dentemp's a great example of that. It's as if you're almost buying yourself time with the patient. And when we're going back to work just now, we've got a 3-month backlog of patients to get through. We've got to qualify them all and then quantify them. So the qualification, how extreme is this patient? How desperate is their need? And then how can we cope with this, maybe in restricted circumstances in the clinic? So during that phase, the temporary dental treatment is absolutely necessary. And it ties in so neatly with the virtual environment. In that the virtual environment, you get a better idea. You can see my face if one side's swollen up, and you get a better understanding if there's redness down one side of my face. You may be able to offer a mouthwash, a specialist mouthwash, or something of that ilk. If it is just pain, we've got Dentagen clove oil, so that's it would at least draw the pain away, rather than pumping full of pills. So many, 450 different items on the website.
Well, we're going to go in and have a wee look at them shortly, actually, so that folk can actually see the system and understand how it operates. We've obviously focused in there on some of the emergency stuff, but I mean the range is massive. Basically, any dental hygiene product or bit of gear you're after pretty much is covered. The final point on advantages I was going to mention, however, was the well-known issue of stock shrinkage disappears. You know, things do get damaged, things go missing, and in some practices we're kind of guilty. I guess especially if it's a big case or a patient that you're kind of friendly with, we end up occasionally things get given away, which obviously is not an ideal way to run a business, because you know, a few quid here and there, especially as we go back after 3 months of no earnings, You know, every penny is going to be a prisoner. So we certainly don't want stock shrinkage happening. You know, a very crucial cash flow time in the business, and this obviously avoids it because the patient pays remotely.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you have expensive items sitting there. Water pick, for example, if you've got a water flosser, maybe 2 or 3 of them sitting in the clinic just now, hoping at some point to sell that to a patient. Well, we've got several dozen sitting in a warehouse now, ready for you to sell to your patient. So rather than having the money tied up in stock, or that stock being gifted, or dropping off the shelf and the box gets damaged, as simple as that. So yes, no, we're here to help the profession.
Yeah, and I think, you know, the whole point, of course, is helping the profession, helping the patient. I mean, the absolute priority is making sure that that point of service is there. The dentist or the therapist is saying, this is the product that you need, and then having the reassurance that the person then gets the exact right item, and that is crucial to the whole thing. The cherry on top for me is that little enticement for the practice that you're going to earn, you know, this commission upon your sales, and again, that's, you know, that's part and parcel of every dental business. We sell things usually at a small commission, and I think it's fair that, you know, that if you have a virtual shop, that you continue, you're still the one that is spending the time with the patient, recommending the product, explaining why they have to have that product, and I think making that small commission on the sale is, as you would if you were holding it in stock yourself, you know, is fair enough, as long as, and again, all the products are reasonably priced. They're all, you know, within a range you would expect to find if you were buying them online or buying them in the shops anyway. So
yeah, no, we scan Google on a weekly basis to make sure that our pricing is within a 10% variance, either 10% lower or higher than other products available on Google. So yeah, they're good prices. I think every patient always looks around and sees what else is available and can I get it cheaper elsewhere. So yeah, we've got to preserve the reputation of the dentist as well by not adding another 20 quid onto the price of a water pick. We make a reasonable price. So yes, no, I think we've got to have a fair pricing scenario there.
Yeah, excellent. Should we have a little look at the website itself then? So I'm going to just jump across and do a screen share here. So if I add this to the screen and then bring it up, so this is the website here. So if you want to talk me through what we're looking at here on the web page.
Okay, so as I said earlier on, it appears to be a shop like any other shop on the internet, selling oral hygiene products. Down the left-hand side, you'll see a range of really public-facing typical searches. We've got a list of featured products in there. So you'll see they're quite diverse on that list. It's a random list, so they are quite diverse. However, up at the top right-hand side of the screen there, Mike, you'll see a dentist area. If you click on that,
okay,
that takes you into an area that gives a full explanation of what the product's all about. It's an e-commerce platform rather than just a shop. It's much, much more than that. So it takes you through step by step with video introduction, how it's used. When you register, there's actual guides in there. There's 6 video guides as to how to get the most out of your system. We'll touch on some points after this, Mike, how to make further use of the website over and above what we've already talked about. So if we take it further down, the price points. The good news is that this can be free. So dentists don't need to actually pay for this. There's a range of commission between 10 and 20% that they can pay. If you don't want to pay anything, take 10% of every sale that goes through the clinic. And this includes the dentist, the hygienist, the therapist, everyone in the clinic. So, I mean, that can mount up to several £100s on a monthly basis.
It can, yeah.
If you want to take this very seriously, then you can pay £25 a month, and that gives you 20% commission. So that means that you're actually beefing up the money quite considerably there. The center option in the middle of the screen there includes the other areas of our business. So you get, for this £55 a month, you'll get a featured listing on de facto dentists. And that is extremely useful. That pushes more patients into your clinic as one of the most widely used clinical tools in terms of finding your nearest dentist. So we take it further down, Mike. We can have a look at how to actually sign up. And down at the bottom, I think it says, I'm trying to read that. Register now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just before we do, there's a section there that says, when in doubt, ask questions. So we're at the end of that. We've got a support team behind this who will answer any questions that you ask. And also, if your patient comes on, you've suggested X, Y, and Z products, the patient may want to ask more information about the products. Now, these are all what the term is OTC, over-the-counter products. So our support team know them well, and are able to offer some advice on the products, not on treatment, but on the product. And also, if the dentist is looking for a specific product that doesn't appear on the website, then they can pop in the name there. Say, I sell a lot of Difflam mouthwash was one of the requests, and within a matter of days, that was on the website. So we react very quickly to dental requests.
Yeah. Okay. So the sign-up process, then you simply just sign up to and literally just click the button. Is that?
That's it. Yeah, just click that button there, and that takes you through
To setting up a new account.
I should actually mention also that the two more expensive options that you have to pay for, they're free of charge for 3 months. So if you wanted to try at 20% commission and see if it's going to be worthwhile in 3-4 months' time, then you can make that commitment just now. And when it comes to 3 months, you can stop.
Okay.
So we won't hold you to it.
Yeah.
So
that's pretty good. Why would you not do that?
Exactly. Yeah. So we can split the dentist into those that are quite savvy and have spotted that 20%. But yeah, after 3 months they can stop that. And the duration they've earned 20% commission rather than 10.
Yeah. Okay, so I mean, and I think when a practice owner signs up to this, you can then allocate individual clinicians their own kind of account, so you can see who it is that's selling, but the commission as it comes in goes to the business, as it would if you were selling something within your own practice. Is that correct?
Absolutely. And if you have multiple clinics, we can do the father-son relationship that we do within one clinic. And that the clinics can report into a head office, and all transactions go through the head office.
Yeah, excellent.
Or through the individual clinics if that's what they prefer to do.
Okay, so just walking through, I guess, the purchasing procedure here then. If you, for example, wanted a brush, you would click on electric toothbrushes here, and you get a wide range of all the different brushes. You can search for specific products, or it will just bring up things that are under that category. So when you select, say you want the Philips Sonicare Protective Clean 6100, you simply click, and that adds it into the basket up here. If you want to add a water pick, I can just search for a water pick, and there are the water pick product range. So again, I can select which of the water flossers or water picks that I want to add here. So let's add this one, the cordless one, and pop that into the basket. So I've then got the 2 items in the basket here. Click on the basket. And this is the stage here where obviously if somebody is just buying online themselves, they just proceed to checkout to complete the order. But if I am completing this as a dentist, there is a screen that comes up that basically says, email this to a patient.
You're not signed in, are you?
I'm not signed in here, no.
So if you were signed in, that would appear just below the basket contents.
Yep.
Send this to a patient, email this to a patient. The process then is a small screen comes up and you can personalize the message that you're sending to the patient. You type in their email address, personalize the message. Here's the products we had a chat about. Have fun with them. Yeah, whatever the message is, that goes out. And the patient, if they haven't responded within 3 days, they'll get a reminder email saying, remember we were talking about, here it is again. After 7 days, they'll have another email. And that just says, this probably skipped into the wrong end of your inbox. Have a look at this though. So a gentle reminder, a prodding to get them to buy your products. As soon as we introduced that small segment, the uptake in those suggested baskets increased by about 400%. So it was quite a significant change. And we're always looking at those very small changes that create a significant output. And we've managed a fair number of them so far. Mike, would it be possible to go back into that screen again, the electric toothbrushes? There's a couple of things I'd like to talk about there.
Okay, so I'm landing on my my account here, so you can see I've got my username, my password in. So I'll log in here and just kind of talk through the process of actually ordering something. So you can see that the last item that I sent to a patient will remain in the basket, which is quite handy because obviously right now it's mainly Dentemp that I'm providing for people, but I can easily just remove that from the basket if that's not what I want to recommend to my next patient. So if I am then looking at say ordering or recommending a toothbrush to a patient, you can just simply type in the search engine up here. Obviously I could click in anywhere along down here as well, all the different categories of things that are there, but I can order this way quite easily. So let's have a look at a sonic toothbrush. There we've got some Oral-B, as well as this various Sonicares, etc. as well. So let's order an Oral-B Pro 600. And that's now sitting in the basket up here. Now you were going to mention something about brush heads, Marcus, is that correct?
Absolutely. It's interesting to note that if a clinic passes over the Oral-B 6000, the patient buys. If the patient 3 months later comes back on to the website and buys replacement heads without any interaction or prompting from the dental clinic, the clinic would still achieve their commission from that consequent sale. So when a patient becomes a customer, the customer is associated with the clinic, and every consequent sale that happens, the clinic is attributed with it.
Excellent. So, I mean, there are so many categories here. I was flicking through some of them just now, but as you say, it is, you know, there's 400 and something odd products in here. So, you know, I'm not going to demonstrate every single one as we chat, but there is a huge range. And the most of the things that you'll generally want to recommend to patients, you're going to find, you know, within these different categories, or as I say, you can quite simply just search up in the search bar here.
Yeah.
Okay, so after you've added your things to the basket, I'll just put in a few more things here into my basket just to demonstrate that. There we go. I'll put you in some toothpaste there as well. Okay, so basket now has 3 items worth $58.75. I simply click on the basket here, That's the products. You just double check that everything is in there. There's no repeats or any issues, and you can easily delete if there's something that's in that basket that isn't meant to be. And then now that I'm logged in as the dentist, I would click email this basket to a patient down here. We're about to email this to your patient. Please follow the steps. And I can then send that. So that can either be sent as a link. So I can copy that link, or what I would tend to do is just hit send the email. So if I was sending this to yourself, Marcus.
Go for it.
So there we go. I'll send that across, email that order to the patient, and there we go. Your recommendation has been successfully sent. In that previous screen, if you wish to personalize the actual text or the message, you can actually go in and edit what it says, which is quite handy as well if there are any specific instructions that you want to add. And then obviously Marcus would now have that about to arrive in your phone, so it should ping any second to let you know that the order. Occasionally you may have to remind patients just to double check junk folders, depending on the settings that they have on their email account, but do let them know that that email will arrive.
I don't know if we can see that.
Hold on, let me zoom in. There you go.
So it's branded with the clinic logo.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. And you now simply just complete the order. Feel free to go ahead and complete that order.
So yeah, it's a 2-click now for the patient. If they're using PayPal or a credit card, 2 clicks and that's it. Job done. Excellent.
Very good. Well, listen, thank you very much for explaining all that to us and having a bit of a chat. Certainly, I know I've been involved in helping develop and come up with some of the ideas behind this, but I know it is your baby and you've worked very hard at making it run slick and efficiently. So congratulations for that, because I know it has been no small task to get it up and running.
No, absolutely. And it's been great working alongside you and having that feedback on the tool.
Yeah, well, thank you. And as I say, I know it's a fantastic tool for dentists. So I'm very happy to shout from the rooftops and say this is something you should do, especially if you're going to get it free for 3 months. I mean, why not?
Exactly.
Yeah. So, okay, everyone, well, you know where to go. Go to yourdentistrecommends.com. Make sure I've spelled that correctly. And get yourself signed up. Have a free trial. See what you think. Start earning a little bit of commission on your sales, and make sure your patients are getting exactly the product that you, your therapist, your hygienist are actually recommending that they should be using. Everybody wins. It really is an everybody wins situation.
Excellent. Well, thanks again, Mike.
You're welcome, and we'll chat to you again soon. Cheers, Marcus.
Bye now.
Bye now. Bye-bye.